Welcome back to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Karen Wyman, coming to you from Higher Ground on Ladies Island. I'm joined this afternoon by Andy Corriveau from State Farm. Hi, Andy.
Hey, how are you today?
Good. Welcome to North of the Broad.
Well, thank you.
So glad that you're here. We're going to talk about all things insurance.
Okay.
Well, that's what you're here for, right?
That's what I do.
That's what you do. I know there's a lot of things that homeowners are unaware of, and we certainly want to provide them through your 53 years of insurance experience with some information and sort of enlighten them about the ins and outs of homeowners insurance. So with all the recent storm activity, obviously as homeowners we should all be looking for specific things in our policies. What are some of the things that you think are the most important?
Well, I think maybe the first thing is that homeowners shouldn't be worried about their policies as that storm is marching up the coast.
Absolutely not.
They should have already asked the tough questions of their agent. How much coverage do I have on my house? Do I have replacement cost coverage? And if so, how much? Mm-hmm. Is that coverage, that replacement coverage on the building and the contents? Mm-hmm. And how much protection do I have if I get sued or if somebody gets hurt on my property? These are all important questions, and those coverages don't mean anything, though, if the company that you're doing business with isn't able to pay those claims.
Right, and that's one of the things we're also going to talk about. You know, there's a number of things that come up when we're looking at companies. One is whether they're an admitted company or not admitted company, and that certainly makes a difference. For those people out there listening who are really uninformed and don't know the difference, can you explain that to the viewers?
Well, an admitted and non-admitted companies are companies in which the South Carolina Guarantee Fund provides protection in the event that that company goes bankrupt. Okay. So a non-admitted company has no protection. An admitted
we would like to stay away from those.
We would like to stay away from those. An admitted company does have protection, but you got to be careful because the total amount of protection you have from the South Carolina Guarantee Fund is $300,000. Mm. And for a lot of folks, that's not enough.
Certainly isn't.
That's $300,000 for the house, the contents, the time that you're away from your house and have those expenses. And you don't get a single cent from the guarantee fund until the company that you have your insurance has formally filed for bankruptcy in the courts. That may be 6 or 7 months down the road. Certainly,
and that's a certainly long time to be out of your house without the comforts of your home and all of your belongings. We also know there's a significant difference in prices between companies. Can you explain why?
Well, the policies in companies vary. There are very basic policies, and then there are policies that have all of the imaginable coverages. And then there's differences in the companies themselves as to whether or not they have the ability to pay the claims. And so pricing works into all of those things.
So of course we want to know, why would you recommend State Farm? If I'm someone coming to you or a viewer out there looking who's new to the area or is looking to shop their current policy, what's the State Farm difference?
Well, I think maybe one of the major differences when that storm is marching up the coast, you're not going to have to worry about your company or the coverages you have. State Farm is a recognized company where we have an A rating from Moody's and Standard & Poor and Best, AM Best. We have the ability to pay the claims. We have the resources to get claims people out to a disaster site. We're there, and you don't have to worry about it.
And that certainly makes a difference. We have a little bit of time left, but what about flood insurance? I know there's a little confusion. People are not quite sure, depending on where they live, whether it's a requirement or not, but let's spend a little bit of time explaining flood insurance to our viewers.
Well, that's a subject we can talk for several minutes on, but one of the things that probably annoys me more than anything else is when someone says, I don't need flood insurance. Well, they may not need it today, but tomorrow after that 20 inches of rain comes down from a hurricane, they may in fact wish they had it. All of Beaufort County is in a flood zone. Some of those areas are in non-special flood hazard areas, which are not at high risk, but at some risk. And then, of course, you have properties that are at risk for stormwater, runoff losses, and then some in high velocity areas where you have actually wind-driven waves that they have to worry about. Flood insurance is a program that's provided by the National Flood Insurance Program. So it's you know the money's going to be there because of the taxability of the National Flood Insurance and FEMA.
Right. So if people have questions about insurance, homeowners, flood insurance, we want them to get in touch with you. We know your information is going to be available on the screen to our viewers. We really appreciate your time here this afternoon, Andy, and giving Beaufort County viewers information about homeowners insurance. We know that we were all pretty lucky this go around, but we know that we'll look forward to next year.
Have.
So thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back with our next guest on North of the Broad.